Hello, everyone. It's Lewis again, and today we're going to present a very special guest, like Joanna said. So we have today Linda Stevens, and we have Mr. Christian. I forgot your last name.
Palmer.
Palmer. Okay, Christian Palmer. So Christian and Linda, thank you guys for coming here. I know you guys are coming all the way from Connecticut, so it's a little drive. Thank you once again for coming here. So Joanna, let's dive in.
All right, so we're going to start off with letting us know a little bit about who you are. A lot of people might already know you, but just who you are, the business you own, and then we'll start with the questions.
Absolutely. So I am Linda Stevens, and I work with midlife ladies, women over 40, who are battling, life changes that happen over 40, over 50, and beyond, I like to say. And a lot of times they just don't understand what's happening with their bodies versus when they were in their 20s and 30s, and now post-children and hormones are changing. So I work with them to help them sort of to regain their confidence, their sex drive, how they feel about themselves. It's a very important time in a woman's life, and I think sometimes people forget about that. Obviously, that's not your... You're not there. But the interesting thing is when I do work with younger women, but when I get younger women, it's important to teach them like what's going to happen and how to set them up now, the things they should be doing now. So when they get to a point in their life, 40s, 50s, it's a much easier journey for them. So I started Linda Stevens Fitness and Wellness in 2014. And it's been amazing. I mean, just being able to give back to people and help them feel really good about themselves. And so, yeah.
I love it.
Why did you start? Why did you start it?
We'll start with the questions so that he can introduce himself, and then we'll start.
Sounds good. All right, Christian, let's see.
Okay, so my name is Christian Palmer, owner of Relentless Fitness and Nutrition, and I help men over 40 regain vigor, ignite their confidence, and achieve their fitness goals through conquering nutrition. So what I focus on is helping men get from where they are to where they want to be. A lot of my clientele are CEOs, high-level executives, entrepreneurs, high net worth individuals who have everything going for them in the bank, but not necessarily at home and in the bedroom, right? So they get to a point in life. They've got, they get to a point in life where they've, they feel great about, again, what they can spend, what they earn. But when it comes time to either their intimate relationship or the relationships they have with their kids or their spouse, that tends to be put on the back burner because they've created this business, right? They want to be a provider, but everything else is taking a back seat. So what I do is help them figure out, how do we get you from where you are feeling like crap, although you're performing well at work? How do we get you feeling better as an individual? How do we get you more energetic so that you're a better business owner, that you're a better leader at home? And so that, it's my firm belief that every man should be the superhero for his kids. And I also do corporate wellness, right? And that's helping companies teach their employees better strategies to eat healthy on a busy schedule, to manage stress better. Obviously, over the last year and a half, a lot of people have been very stressed, and that's led to eating and just habits that maybe you wouldn't do had you been able to just, freely roam, right? And this helps to produce, make employees better producers at work, to help them become better leaders at home, and improve the bottom line of the company. So.
That's a lot, but I think that's very helpful, especially like you said, for business owners, entrepreneurs, even like me and Joanna. Unfortunately, the last year we've been so stressed. I don't have control of what I eat. Like sometimes, I just eat whatever's out there. So I think it is very important. So now back to my question, right? So Linda, what got you started? How did you decide that you wanted to do this?
So I'll give you a really quick story. My first life was in equities. I worked for UBS for a long time on the institutional equity sales desk. So I worked in the city, I worked on the trading floor, I worked on the derivatives desk. I did that. Then I had children in my early 30s and decided after that going back to that Wall Street kind of life was not really conducive anymore because I wanted to be with my kids more. And a friend of mine who owns a corporate gym in Stamford, Connecticut said to me, "You love to work out. Why don't you get your personal training certification and come work for me, teach some classes at lunchtime for the people in the building and whatnot." And I did that. And it just sort of took on a life of its own. So I started training people. I was teaching some classes, just doing it as a side gig, just to have some extra money to pay for babysitting and whatnot. And I decided that nutrition really was what interested me, was where my passion was. I love training people and helping them in the gym. but I love learning about the body and how what we put in, what happens, and what happens as it goes throughout our body. And I went back to school at 42 and got my master's degree in nutrition.
Wow.
And then that's when I started my company and really focused more on nutrition and training. And it just has sort of grown over the years. And being able to help people take their health back is such an amazing job.
Yeah.
And even now, and I've been doing it for a while, when a client, male or female, will message me and say, you've changed my life. I couldn't have done this without you. Or you've helped me feel so much better. And now, my life I have so much more quality to my life. Or messages like that. He gets them too. And there's nothing better than that. I mean, if I didn't have to charge people, I wouldn't charge them because those rewards are just amazing.
Yeah.
And I just decided that my niche was going to be to focus on women over 40, just because I am one. And I know how hard it can be for a woman when a woman's body starts changing and they don't really understand it. Like, why do I hear the same things all the time. Why do I have weight here? Why do my arms look like this? I never looked like this before. I hardly eat anything. Why can't I lose weight? Like we hear the same things all the time. And it's just a great career. I call it a labor of love. I don't mind working 7 days a week because what I can do to help people change their life is incredible. And it's just, I think it's really the best job.
Wow. That was a very I want to join now.
And you seem very passionate about it. You can tell that this is what you live for. This is what you do. And I'm assuming your story is a little similar.
Similar, yeah. So I've been into, health and fitness since I was younger. When I was a teenager, I got into lifting weights, and some of my friends would go with me to the gym because they're like, oh, he seems like he knows what he's doing, and it was fun. And I became very interested in nutrition specifically, right? I used to print out just all these papers and read all these texts and just learn about nutrition. Yeah. And then later in life, my mom was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Oh, wow. And this was before I got my degree, and I really, really got into the depths of nutrition. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I have to figure out a way to help my mom because this is my mom. Now, she's Italian, so she's used to the pastas and the breads, and there's got to be a better way to do it. She cooks from her heart, right? But that may not keep her around as long as I'd like her to be. And as long as she'd like to be.
Say
so
that to me. I love the pasta.
It is good. I'm with you. I get it.
Yeah. So, she went the typical route, was on insulin and health wasn't the greatest. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do this on my own. So I started reading and took months to just read. And I started to help her make better choices as far as what she ate, getting her to walk, just do basic things. Do you guys remember Curves? It was a female gym that used to be out. Had to be 10 years ago?
Probably.
Where it was only for women.
Only for
women. But there was one.
And it was a circuit too. Wasn't it a circuit when you went inside?
It was a 30-minute circuit. So there was one nearby where she lived. So I'm like, get yourself a membership there, and just she loved it. She got a lot healthier. She lost a bunch of weight, and she no longer needs insulin. So I'm like, well, if I can help my mom get better, right, improve her quality of life, I'm like, I know I can do that for others. Then I became a trainer at Equinox, right? And for whatever reason, just sort of the way the universe works, I started getting a lot of men over 40. And I'd hear them have these conversations with me about, hey man, I feel, business is great, but I just I don't have sex anymore. Or I don't have enough energy to play with my kids, or my back hurts so much I can't even lift my kids up. You know how that feels? Like you have a little kid who's like, Daddy, let's play. You're like, I can't, And I'm like,
I'm already there. My nephew, I'm like, I can't, not today.
Yeah. And I'm like, imagine, again, I'm a firm believer that every man should be his kid's superhero. And I'm like, and that's not what that is. So I started reading about men's health, about just how a man's body works hormonally. A testosterone replacement therapy is a big thing that people talk about. So I took it upon myself to learn more about that. And I've been able to help dozens and dozens of men, take their lives back and feel better and have more energy and have better intimate relationships and be able to play with their kids. And, the feeling that I get from just hearing them say, hey, Christian, thank you for allowing me to be that superhero for my kids. That's where my fulfillment comes from.
Exactly.
Right. And like she had said, I would do it. I was doing it before I was getting paid.
Right.
And now I'm like, it makes me feel whole when I'm able to help, people just be just feel great, you know?
Yeah, wow. Well, I mean, both of you seem like you're so passionate about it too. You know, it's making me want to go work out now.
You're gonna make me regret that burger I had last night. So now we can get to, because a lot of people that are watching us are in the business too. They're CEOs, they're realtors, they're lenders, they're everything. But like you said, heroes at home.
Right.
So I'm gonna start off with, for me, for example, as a lender, every day I go to the office, I sit there for an entire day, 16 hours. Just sitting there stressed with my mind, stressful that I forget to eat. The moment I forget to eat is probably 8 p.m. when either my body is shaking or someone reminded me that there's food. What would you recommend that, obviously you would say, you know, put on your schedule or something, but what kind of activities, what kind of food, snacks would you recommend for lenders like us? Because it's just not me. Most of us, we sit there with phone appointment, in-person appointment. Next thing you know, we're eating once a day.
Right.
And I don't think that's the way. Because my body doesn't feel like that energy.
You don't feel energetic, and you start to lose, get that brain fog because your brain needs, carbs and fats and things to function properly.
And the reason I don't, not only because I don't have time, but then I'm like, if I eat something while I'm sitting, I'm going to feel guilty because it's just going to make me sleepy, if anything.
Right.
So sometimes they're like, Johana, do you want, there's pizza in the kitchen? I'll go out, eat it, and then I'm like,
well, it's also the types of foods that you're going to consume also. So like eating that kind of stuff is going to make you feel sleepy. For, living in Fairfield County, Connecticut, a lot of my clients, as I was saying before we started filming, I have a lot of clients that are realtors. And, and I've worked with a lot of them to help them because they're either in the car all the time, they work on the weekends. I mean, they're always going, they're home late. So it's probably very similar to what you guys are doing. Yeah. And, our methodology is you have to prepare your food so that you're ready for your day. And that's what we do. And you'll have different tips, but like I brought something that I love to use. And so this is a 6-pack bag. And there are a lot of different bags out there. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. It's got the little abs on there. Go to the abs. And and then when you open it up inside, you've got your little containers. So what you can do is, and it comes with ice pack. So you'll slip an ice pack in here and then you open up the top and the ice pack can go in the back. But this is a great option for someone like you guys. Yeah. And Christian uses something a little bit different, but I love this because it's easy. So I know if I'm gone all day, I've got, meal number, we go by numbers. Meal number 2, meal number 3, meal number 4. So, or whatever, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, whatever you want to do. And then you can put stuff on the sides because it's got zippers and it's you can carry a lot of stuff in this. It's pretty awesome. So this is great because you can pack your meals. So then depending on like when we start working with a client, we take a health history. So we go through like if you have food allergies, foods you don't like, foods you dislike, and then write you a plan based on that so that you're saying, okay, Joanna knows I've got to work, I got to be at the office at 8. And I'm not going to be home till 8. So you make sure you've got what you need so that you're not eating pizza and sitting because we know what that's going to do. That's going to go right to your booty. And while you're sitting there, as you do that more and more and more, things are going to probably widen and widen. So, and that's not what we want to do. And then the women come to me and go, I can't get rid of my butt, my gut, my arms already got bat wings. But this is great because then you'll be prepared. So you'll know I have all my stuff in here and then you can stay on plan. So even if it's a day where you're not so active, like maybe you weren't able to get to the gym or you couldn't get out to do some kind of activity, if you're following a good, balanced nutritional program, you'll stay at a weight that you want to be at. Of course, adding in exercise and whatnot helps speed up your metabolism, makes you more metabolically active, but I mean, we all have days when you're like, I just can't get there for whatever reason. So
you would just say the food that we will prepare will be depending on what you like, what's your body like. And
exactly.
So just saying for the morning, put some eggs, in the afternoon, put some chicken. Because most of the time I ask for this kind of advice. It's the first thing they tell me. The morning, just do like with white eggs. The afternoon, I'm like, it sounds so boring.
It is. Yeah.
But no one goes into, okay, depending what you like, this is what we can substitute. If you don't like the eggs, we can substitute.
Exactly. Give you a few options. So maybe you make a smoothie and you take it with you as you drive into the office.
Yeah, you don't want to be eating eggs 7 days a week.
Eggs. I do.
Yeah.
But
I would get tired of it.
But yeah, and a lot of people do. So, and the other thing too is if you eat a few eggs, that's not going to stick with you for very long. Like if I ate a few eggs at 7, I'd probably be hungry at 7:30 or 8. I would be hungry. But you want to have something. Maybe you're having some toast with it, or you're having some oatmeal, or you're going to make a smoothie.
Mhm.
You know, there's a lot of options.
Yeah,
So, you know,
And where we can get one of those?
so you could go online, and I don't have any affiliation with this company, although I hope I do at some point.
soon, hopefully.
But I think it's sixpackfitness.com.
Okay.
So, or you could just Google search 6-pack bags and it'll come up.
Perfect.
But these are cool, and they have them for men. They have all different
Yeah.
sizes and shapes. I love this one because it's super easy to just sort of carry if you want to flip it over. And
So
I
that-
take it through the airport with me. I pack all my food when
it
I
looks
fly.
really cute too, because sometimes the lunch bags are just like, no.
Yeah,
that's
this
not
is
it.
cool. And they have other colors, like they have the other girly colors, and they have
Yeah.
guy colors and whatnot.
Let's see.
I think my original one is bright pink, but it was really getting beat up because I use it all the time.
So
But
we recommend we always have that prepare, and then we have
Yes.
snacks. Why is it important to eat 3 times a day or have snacks? Because I know last time we were at 1-day training that we did, and you were there. Every time we looked at you guys,
We
you
were
guys were
eating.
eating. It's like, give them 1 more hour, and you guys were back to eating.
Wait, but
know.
before you answer that, is it 3 times a day or 6? Like, because I know some people follow like a 6 meal plan. Because there's different plans, I guess, that works for different personalities. I would say like different bodies, right? So, what
Really
would you
depends.
recommend for somebody?
Yeah.
Who,
it
depends on your lifestyle.
Yeah, right.
Because I've got clients who do eat 6,
Mm-hmm.
then I've got clients who eat 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll ask them, there's a few factors you have to consider, right?
Mhm.
1 is how frequently you get hungry.
Mm-hmm.
2 is how often you're on the road or at the desk, or, you know, because if I say eat 6, but both of you are at the desk and you're like, dude, that's not going to work.
Right.
You're not going to follow the plan.
Yeah,
The best nutrition plan is one you'll follow.
Right.
Right. So I might say, all right, let's take it down to 4. Does that work? You're like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's pretty good. It gives me 3, and then I get hungry later at night, so I have another meal, and that holds me down for the day.
Mhm.
Or maybe there's a day where you're like, I had showings, I've got too many appointments, it's not going to work. So we say, all right, let's do 3, right? And maybe one of those is a smaller meal or a snack, you know, like you guys had
Mhm.
said. So it really depends on what you need as an individual. That's why our plans are customized.
Right.
So it's not like cookie cutter, hey, 6 for everybody,
Yeah.
you know, only the strong survive.
Yeah.
Right? It's more so like,
Yeah.
what do you need? What do you need? Okay, let's
Yeah.
figure it out, tailor it for, and then to your mention of variety, my favorite statement is there's no boring food, only boring cooks.
Yeah.
But the other thing to that is that it shouldn't be just one type of food you eat every day,
Mhm.
right? And a lot of people tend to find certain things kind of weird to eat in the morning. For example, some mornings I have steak, some mornings I have fish, some mornings I have pork, right? But think about it. The only reason why people eat eggs and oatmeal and bacon in the morning because it's been marketed that way,
Yeah.
right? The cow doesn't care what time you eat it. The chicken
Right.
doesn't, you know, people like pancakes for dinner, but that's a breakfast food.
Breakfast for dinner.
So I always say, whatever you like, you'll eat what
Right.
you like.
Mhm.
So I'll say, find something you like for breakfast. And if you're so busy that that's just your daily thing, a lot of people like overnight oats.
Yeah.
Oatmeal, you put berries in there, you put nut butter, you put cinnamon, you put a
Almond
whole bunch
milk.
of stuff that makes it taste good. You make it at night, it's in the fridge, ready to go in the morning. And you might say to yourself, yeah, I'll eat that every day. Maybe I'll just change the berries. One day blackberries, one day's raspberries, one day strawberries. But that's my morning thing. It's fast, it's already ready. And if that's what you know you'll eat, stick with it.
Mhm.
You know?
The key
So-
thing I like to say too is food is fuel. Like you really just need to fuel your body. Like you have to pull into the gas station once in a while and fill your car up. But you've got to fuel your body so that you have that energy to keep moving, so that your blood sugar stays nice and consistent. You don't get that dip where, oh God, I'm starving. And now you're craving something sugary because your body wants that quick intake of energy. So you get that burst. And then, but then like an hour later, you're crashing again because it's not sticking with you.
Yeah.
So you need to give your body good fuel, probably every few hours, every 2 or 3 hours, depending on you.
Mhm.
And that way there, you can keep moving in the direction that you want to go in. Like just keep being more productive at work and whatnot, because you're fueled, your brain is happy. We all know that when we don't eat and you're like, oh my God, I'm getting a headache, or I feel or you're more stressed, things will piss you off, sorry.
Yeah. Hangry.
Yeah, they'll make you, your patience will be
Irritable,
lower.
yeah.
Exactly. So you want to make sure that every few hours you're just giving yourself something good that's going to last you, and then you stay in front of it. Like you don't want to let yourself get like famished. So it works well. And with my clients, most of my clients do 5 meals a day, but I do have clients that are on 4 meals a day because that's easier for their lifestyle. But other people like to eat. Most people, if they're eating early enough in the morning, they need something like mid-morning, and then you need lunch, and then everybody's hungry at 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is when they reach for the candy bars, or they reach for the coffee, or the 5-hour energies, or whatever it is to keep them going until dinner time. And they're like, I don't know what to do between 1 and 6.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you've got to put something in there so that you can keep yourself fueled.
Yeah.
Then you get to your dinner, and then you know.
Yeah.
And
So-
the same will go how many snacks a day. Because I would
Right.
feel like, for example, as the lenders, like I mentioned, we sit almost all day, but for the realtors, it's different. They're on the road, they get
Okay.
up, they get out, they
Yeah.
go to show, and they get to put 5 steps in, at least to open the door.
Mm.
We don't get to do that. We just get
You're
to
just-
sit all day.
Yeah.
They get up, they go, they probably have a
You're
commute of an
moving.
hour, but they get
Yeah.
up again
Yeah.
and then in and out. So I'm guessing they're more into like probably more snacks and less
Okay.
meals, maybe 3 meals, 4 meals, and
Right.
then us will be like 3 meals because we just like eat, continue with the busy calendar paperwork, eat again, and
Yeah.
what would you say you would recommend again? The difference between it's not the same. A lot of the recommendations I get the same as you're giving advice to a realtor, but we don't have the same lifestyle
Mhm.
Yeah.
as a realtor.
Mhm.
They are on the road, they're up and down, they're in and out. We sit all day.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, one of the other props we brought
Oh, yeah.
is time is obviously the most precious commodity, right?
Yeah.
And we all would want more of it, or we have to make the most with what we have. Everyone has 24 hours.
Mhm.
So sometimes I'll tell some of my clients that let's have a whole meal morning, nighttime, and in the midday we can do something to drink.
Mhm.
Right? So these are pre-made protein drinks by Orgain. Again, no affiliation with this company, but they're great because they have protein. It's organic, it happens to be. And I mean, how long does it take to drink something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
10, 15 seconds.
Yep.
And the good thing is that this can at least hold you over. I'm not saying that that's going to make you feel like you had Thanksgiving dinner, but at least your body has the nutrients in it so that you know you have the nutrients you need, even though you might still be a little hungry, which you
Yeah.
might be anyway,
Right.
right? But this gives you a better option that's fast that you can take anywhere, whether you're going to a showing or if you're at a desk and you're like,
Mhm.
I'm just in the zone right
the
now.
zone.
I don't want to stop for 15 minutes. The other thing is, so now this is my lunchbox. I eat a lot more than she
I love
does.
it.
Yeah.
That's why this one's huge.
All right, let's hold on. We got to do this. Now, look.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yeah.
His.
And you can tell mine's a little beat up, but
his is like 6 times bigger than yours.
He said one day we were talking and he said, sorry. He goes, one day we should switch diets. I'll eat what you eat every day and you eat what I eat. I'm like, hell no.
He's like-
I'll be bloated.
Yeah.
so what I
You got a
get,
steak in there?
Yeah, exactly.
so I actually get prepped meals.
Okay.
So this is another recommendation because having your meals prepped is great, but
slide
let's
in
say it's tough to find the time because you guys are working 7 days a week.
Yes. When I get home at 10 p.m., I don't want
Want to cook? Yeah.
Right. No,
So,
I get that.
Now this is a company
Totally.
based out of Connecticut, and they've got them all over. They've got
Yeah,
companies
yeah.
like MegaFit meals, like Icon meals.
Right.
There's tons of them. Trifecta, and you can order what you want. Right. You pick out the serving sizes. It gives you the calories, the fat, protein, and so forth. So if cooking is not something that you have time for or will make time for,
Mhm.
you can have these made. Then you can transfer this into a bag like that or this, right? And
I'll choose this one.
yeah, exactly. And
was
that
for Louise.
saves you time as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have your whole food meal whenever you need it.
Okay.
The other thing that I give some of my clients is what I call a whole food protein shake. So you can take something like, we're all basically familiar with protein powder, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what I'll tell them to do is I'll say take dry oatmeal, pulverize it in something like a NutriBullet, take some protein powder, put it in there, or one of those drinks, whatever you want.
Mhm.
Then you can put nut butter in there, berries. So now you've got a whole food, right? Because there's oatmeal in there, the berries,
Yeah.
but it's blended up in a shake, easy to drink.
Mhm.
So let's say you have your breakfast made at home, right? You've got your dinner, which you make at home, or maybe they're the prep meals. But then during the day, you've got 2 drinks that you can have on the go.
Yeah.
So now you're getting 4 meals, but it's fast and it works with your schedule.
Yeah.
So that's why everything really is about custom tailoring.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we focus on, whether you're a lender, whether you're a realtor.
Yeah.
It can work for you, but sometimes people just don't know the strategies that are out there.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And it might be a little bit of work to like the night before to get your stuff together,
Yeah.
but once you do it enough, it becomes routine like anything.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, and it's much better than pulling into a drive-through every
Yeah,
day,
definitely.
you know,
Yeah.
multiple times a day.
Well, I think that's
And
my issue as a realtor.
Yeah.
when you
because
get
the
into
thing is,
trouble.
we're always on the road.
Yeah.
So as a realtor, right, sometimes you're like, all right, cool, I'm hungry. First thing you see is like McDonald's, Burger King,
Yeah.
Wendy's. And you know what the worst part about it is, like, they put it right in the same corner.
Yes.
So you now have like 7 options. You're like, oh, all right, you know what?
Today I'll do
Wendy's-
this one.
Yeah, I had Wendy's yesterday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I have this, and then tomorrow I have Taco Bell. So at the end of the day, like when you realize you just put all this garbage into your body,
Right.
that you don't even like. It feels good for like 5 minutes, and then at the end of the day, you're still burned out.
It's that.
Yeah.
The other thing
Yeah.
is we our podcast, we have an episode on there about eating. I think it's Eating Healthy While on the Road. We talked about some of the different fast food chains.
Yes.
Is it that one where we went through the menus?
So this is
a different one.
What to choose when fast food's the only option.
Yes.
So we did an episode.
And that was, I'm sorry to cut you off, that was the following question. One thing we do have in common is that we do a lot of dinners. We're like, okay, let's go for a dinner. That's how we do business. Let's go for a dinner.
Yes.
So now that we're touching that topic will be what to choose, what are the options when it comes to fast food or going to a restaurant.
So, I mean, in regards to fast food, in that episode, we had discussed certain fast food restaurants offer things that are better choices than others.
And we went through all their menus very specifically and looked at options and macros and whatnot.
Exactly.
So we could say, okay, if you go here, these are decent choices.
Yeah. So, for example, I think McDonald's has oatmeal.
McDonald's has oatmeal.
Yeah.
Yes,
and then there's some that have salads. And if you just look over the menu, they're limited options, but they're doable, right? And of course, if you get the salads, like don't douse it in dressing. They always give it on the side anyway.
Right.
Just like put a little bit on there, right? When it comes to a restaurant, it's really, I always tell people just keep it simple, right? If something is just laden in sauce and there's a whole bunch of extras with it, macaroni and cheese and all these sides, it's like, just keep it simple. A steak is always a great choice. A lot of people think like, oh no, that's going to put me over for calories. If you get something like a sirloin or a New York strip or filet, which is everyone's favorite, right? That's really lean. That's actually a great choice no matter where you go. And that's a great dinner out with clients, right? And you can get some rice on the side or potatoes. Ask for the potatoes to be grilled, right? Maybe put some olive oil on it. So it's got some good texture. And
you can always get steamed vegetables,
yes,
steamed asparagus,
exactly.
stuff
You can get salmon. I mean, you could get, again, as long as it's, I always say just be careful with the sauces. Because that's really the thing that because most foods are fine. If you get chicken, it's not bad. If you get steak, it's not bad. If you get salmon, it's not bad. What else is with it?
Right.
Instead of macaroni and cheese, go for some roasted potatoes or some rice,
So, things like that. And I always tell clients too that if you're going to do a steak, or if you're at a steakhouse or whatever, I always just mention to the waiter sometimes like don't, because in the kitchen, they do a lot of stuff in the kitchen you don't know. But I know a lot of times they'll paint the steaks with butter or whatnot to get that sear on the outside. So you can always just say to them, please, I'm on a special program, or you don't even have to say that. Just say, please, I just grill my steak plain with salt and pepper. Please don't put any extra oil or added fat on it or something like that.
Very specific.
Wow.
Because
I mean, I know I'm a steak person. So I just be like, can you, get me a porterhouse or a nice,
a
nice steak.
And then going for leaner cuts, like for example, something like a tomahawk steak.
Yeah,
a little bit fattier, ribeye, very
fattier.
New York strip, better choice, filet, the best option.
Right.
So, and to give you an idea, a lot of times people will go to diners and they'll order egg whites, but they don't realize that they cook them in butter. So now you just negated your attempt to eat something that's moderate to lower calorie. So that's why it's like, look, I want my egg whites, because every diner or every restaurant has cooking spray.
Yes.
People just don't ask for it. So I'd like my eggs made in cooking spray, and that's it. They'll do it. But if you don't ask for it,
you don't know.
A restaurant's goal is flavor. They want to make it palatable. So you have to imagine what they're going to put on it.
So in reality, people think they're eating egg whites, but they're still having them as much calories as
a lot of added fat.
Correct.
I was away one time on vacation. And I went up to the omelet bar. I'm like, I'll do an omelet. So I went up to the guy, and he's like, what do you want to put in it? So he takes the ladle on the side, and he puts this big ladle of oil like in the little pan, and I went, oh, I'm like, no. I said, do you have nonstick spray? And he's like, yes. I'm like, please, I can't, But like now a nice probably healthy omelet, it's got like how many grams of fat in it because of the oil. Yeah. So I always tell clients that too, like just be mindful of what things they do in the kitchen.
Yeah. And then with options for eggs, because you had mentioned that, is make them interesting. You could put onions in it, you could put mushrooms, you could put peppers, you could put spinach.
Yeah. That's what I started doing because I used to get tired of it, so I would put like spinach. But it's just like, so I actually used to be a lot healthier probably like 2 years ago. Obviously with everything that's happened, stress, the realtor life, going back and forth between my car, showings, the office, it's been hard to keep an actual balance, for me. So that's something that I'm focusing on getting back onto this, upcoming year.
Good.
It's just, finding the right way, and I know there's a lot of people that are going to love this video because, especially, it's important, especially the way that you feel is going to portray on how you do your business. Definitely.
Is there anything that we didn't touch or any advice you want to give that we didn't speak before we close down the episode?
I mean, I would say the most important thing is commitment. right? Is if someone says they want to be healthy, we all know talk is cheap, right? It's all about action.
Right.
Correct.
So the first thing I'd say is if any realtors or any lenders out there are looking to get healthy, take 5 minutes, sit down and write out a plan. What does Monday look like? What does Tuesday look like? What is your schedule like? What are the opportunities you have to eat? Someone might take 5 minutes, which could have been making one or drinking one of those whole food protein shakes and they're on social media, not doing business, just wasting time. Right? So it's like, when do I have the intervals to eat? Okay, Tuesday I eat at, I have my breakfast in the morning, then I eat at 12 and then at 3, whatever it is. Anytime you have a plan, you're always more likely to succeed. And make that for the 7 days a week. And if you follow that, get some exercise in. It doesn't have to be long. You don't even have to go to a gym. You can exercise at home. Push-ups, sit-ups, bodyweight squats. People, I think, overestimate what they have to do. As long as it's consistent. That's the thing, is consistency is key.
What advice do you have to stay consistent?
Write your goals down.
Write your goals
down. Because if it's just in your head, it's this thing that's sort of floating around in the ether. Yeah, I'll eventually get there. Yeah, I'd love to lose 5 pounds. I'd love to fit into these pants. I'm going to lose 5 pounds by January 1st. Blah, blah, whatever. Be very specific.
Accountability.
Put it on the fridge.
Having an end date.
Put it in your car. I've had clients put it on their steering wheel. Just because it's like, unless they see it every day, they pass by the... I know. Exactly. They pass by the fast food.
That's great that you said that, because I was on a meeting 2 days ago with my friend Tane in Virginia, and he literally said that to me. He said, write your goals down, but he said, make a copy, have it, tape it to your car, tape it to your office, tape it to, have those goals in front of you. And he's like, every time you want to quit or you're going to fail, look at those goals and remember why you're doing what you're doing. So now that you said that, I have to do it.
Put it on the fridge, put it on the, I tell my clients that when you open your cabinet where all your snacks are, put it right there, or put a picture of yourself pre-kids or when you got married or whatever it is. People always say, I want to look like this. The one thing I always like to say too is that your health is your responsibility. And you have to make it a priority. And I know we all need to make money, we need to pay bills, and everyone's been stressed. But at the end of the day, if you're on the other side of 40, 20s, 30s, you want to set yourself up for a healthy 40s and 50s and over. And even though when you're in your 20s and 30s, it might be hard to think about those decades, but they come and they come fast. And the things that you do now to set yourself up for that time period is you'll be so much ahead of the game. So yes, we all get involved but it's really important to make the time and make the priority, because you don't want to hear a doctor at some point say, you're diabetic, you have high blood pressure, you have high cholesterol, you have heart disease. Now you're taking all these pills, now you're reactive. Like, be proactive about your health. Take care of it now. Why wait till you get someone telling you that something's wrong and now you're like, oh God, I need a nutritionist, I need a trainer, I need. Like do this stuff now, and then hopefully you won't have to hear those things uttered to you. So realtors, lenders, financial loan people, you guys are all, we're all busy, but at the end of the day, you have to make it a priority.
Make the sacrifice.
You have to make it a priority.
I think the last thing I think of is find someone who inspires you.
Right.
And I say that because think about, we all either know people, have relatives, or just familiar with people who maybe read the Bible every day or whatever text they follow. And why do they read it on a daily or weekly basis? Because it reminds them, these are the morals I want to live by. This is how to be a good person. This is right. And you have to get yourself into habits. You're developing lifestyle habits rather than the 6 to 8 weeks. And I'm going to become, the person I want to be or get the body I want. And then what happens after that? Right. So find people who inspire you, listen to their content every day. I listen to motivational, inspirational, and success focused content every single day, multiple times a day, because you might be driving by Burger King and think, oh, Whopper sounds good. Right. But then you might be listening to someone like a David Goggins or a Jocko Willink, or she likes Joel Osteen or TD Jakes, whoever it is. And you're like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. Because you need that person in your ear. Because when you're left to your own devices, we all have moments of weakness. All of us. We have it. You guys might have it. Everyone has it. And it's something that we all have to come to terms with. Because we're not this steel wall and nothing's going to break me. Right. You're going to have moments of weakness. But you need that voice to tell you, you know what? Don't give in. Don't quit. Not today.
Like you mentioned, have that responsibility in your health. Because like you mentioned, you go out there and you become the CEO, and at home you're nothing. Like motivation. If you see right now my YouTube, and I'm gonna put it like, it's motivation. That's what I'm listening while I'm here.
Yeah.
But it's nothing about my health. And at the end of the day, everything is 1-to-1. So now it's gonna be okay. Not only my business matter, but I matter too.
Exactly.
Yes.
And everybody else
Exactly.
there.
Your business can't function without you being
Correct,
healthy.
correct.
So you need to be the face, the healthy face of your business, because people are gonna look and be like, wow, they're awesome, they're rock stars, they're here, they're there, and you guys have the energy and you look the part, and so
you become example for others. Because when other lenders and realtors are like, wow, you guys are fit. Like, you're
like, what do you
do?
do?
Then you're like, oh, so we're doing this. You know?
Yeah.
And you become the inspiration for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I
Which
mean,
is
I
cool.
think personally, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm very young, so that's like my next step.
Mhm.
You know, I'll be turning 21 in January, so
Okay.
that's just like my main goal is just to like focus on that, because you know, a lot of like so I used to be fit, right? So but then it got to a point like where you just said earlier, where it's like, all right, you don't have this information, so it's like I was like built out, and then I got to a point where like I'm like, you know, screw this, like I got tired of it, but I just didn't find like motivation for me to keep doing it.
Right.
So now like for me to get back into it, it's just like
more
you
work,
know, it's like it's not as easy as I remember, because I remember me waking up every day 4 a.m. I was in the gym, 11 o'clock I was in the gym, you know, working out. Now I'm just like, damn, like how do I do this, you know? And it messes with your business, like I seen it, because at the end of the day it's just like you portray that energy to your clients, your customers, the people you work around with. And that's definitely something that I know that, you know, if I'm able to turn that around, I can motivate like a lot of people that, you know, who follow us, you know, and that's
definitely
one of the main goals.
Definitely. And then they'll want to work for you.
Yeah, that's the goal.
They want to work there. They're energetic. They're on it.
Yeah,
so,
I mean that's something that I think Johana and I are like, that's our main thing that we're trying to strive on, because like we want to have that like that ambiance where we, you know, people know us, like, hey, like have you watched like the Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes.
So you know, like we want like when people come to work with us, that's how I want them to feel.
Everybody
like,
jumping up and down in the morning,
like,
getting excited to
like
work.
That's how I want to come to the office every day.
It's like being a Spartan.
Exactly.
It's good though. It's good, because then you know what, then you set up your employees to be healthy, because you don't want your people calling in sick because they got a back pain, or they have GI distress, or whatever, they didn't sleep well the night before, they're just sick, coughing, sneezing, all that. Like, you want your staff to be healthy so that they're productive. Like that's what you want. I mean, that's ideal. So you keep your staff healthy, you guys are all making money, everybody's good. So
We had the soccer tournament. And I think sometimes when you do something, like you mentioned, he was fit, and then I was an athlete, what you think is like, oh, I'll get back to it. I'll get back to it. And then a year passes. 2 years. When I went back on the field, which it was like last week, I go back in the field for a year, I couldn't breathe after 5 minutes of running. I was like, meanwhile, I was hosting the whole thing with Elise, and I'm like, I can't even run. So.
She's like, Lewis, you want to play another game? My back's like, oh, no,
I'm good. One and done, baby.
So thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
It was awesome. This episode was full of energy, and I cannot wait to put myself that responsibility.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll definitely talk some more, because that's something that I'm definitely looking into. I just set up a plan. My last week I actually followed through with it, so I'm doing 3 times at the gym every morning.
Good.
So I used to go for 2 hours. Right now I just cut it down to 1 hour.
Yeah,
so
that's all you need.
Just so we want to do like something where we bring you guys back and say, hey, look, this is what we did. That's the goal.
Joanna will have her little bag with her. Sorry, I gotta eat my meal right now. Excuse me, I need my snack.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it.
All right, so we'll end this podcast here, and thank you guys for coming on. All right,
thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you guys.
See you on the next one.
I love this episode.
That was fun.
It was good.
Honestly,
fast. I'm like,
this
it's
is
over?
by far probably one of the best episodes that we have.
Because you are passionate about it. You're like, I'm like, can you sign me up now?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because the thing is, like, a lot of people come on here, right?
Yeah,
they'll talk about what they do, which is like, it's great. But that's also another thing probably that comes down to nutrition, right?
Right.
Where people love what they do, but they can't portray that. Like,
that energy.
It's like, oh yeah, I do this because that, blah, blah. But then it's like, it throws you off because you expect more of them.
Yeah.
And in reality, it's just like, okay, you just sounded like the same guy that was trying to sell me insurance down the block.
Yeah. I always say, like, I think however people feel about what they do, it comes out.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think if someone's somewhat low energy, it's like you're probably not as passionate as you might.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, because I feel like